Okay, welcome to the latest edition of EdTalks. I'd like to say thank you to Nicholas Van Patrick, my fantastic mates Nick Pietrovich and Patrick Alvarado, who've allowed us to use their boardroom here in frightfully smart Knightsbridge to do their meeting. Phil, as you will hear in a minute, is not from this part of the world, so has come a long way to join in today. I think to put this in context here, we're talking about the Digital Property Marketing Steering Group, which is something that took place earlier on this week and was a get-together of supposedly the great and the good from the world of property, so everyone from the land registry through to members of the home buying and selling group, etc., etc. And I think it's probably fair to say that the general reaction to that has been a little bit, not negative, but it's been a bit underwhelming insofar as we had, or they had, I wasn't there, someone from Norway who told us that they've developed over the last 5 years a process of being able to buy and sell within 24 to 48 hours, which I think there was a lot of giggling in the room, which means that we come back to looking again at some of the systems we have in place at the moment. And I'm here, as I said, with Phil Priest, who runs a company in, well, you'd say what Four Corners does, Phil. I think that's the easiest thing.
Yeah, thank you, Ed. So Four Corners Property was established just over 18 months ago, but based on 10 years worth of experience. And we have shortened the time frame to completion and reduced.
Okay, but I think in terms of what you offer estate agents is a quoting system. So it's like a compare the market. So a buyer or a seller comes in, they say they want to use a solicitor. You are able to put the postcode for wherever it is they're trying to transact, and it will come up with a quote, which includes, very importantly, and what we want to come on to, the addition of, if they want to, for the buyer to pay for an upfront search.
Correct.
And I think the interesting thing about this is that it is, I'm not saying it's an analogue solution in a digital world, but it's incredibly simple. And I'm such a believer that at a time when this group of people who've been meeting last week, or earlier on this week, when there are so many interested parties that are trying to find a solution that I think it's often very difficult, and we come back to this thing of keep it simple, stupid. So effectively what's happened for you, Phil, over the last 18 months or so is, again, what you've managed to do is, via this quotation system, via the fact that the solicitors are empowered to make sure or to offer the buyer the opportunity to pay for the upfront search. Is that how it works?
Not quite. So at the moment, let's be honest, agents need solicitors, bottom line. Traditionally, agents will have a relationship with their local solicitor. They will email them on a weekend, on a Saturday when they've done the viewings, and then they'll have to wait for the solicitor to come back to them. Well, that's always a delay. So that little bit of delay there, but also the buyers and sellers will have a mate down the pub whose friend's got a solicitor, and then the agent loses control. So there's a number of key factors that we worked on. So we just created a very simple quotation tool where we selected a number of solicitors that we've dealt with for a long time. They gave us their fees. We imported their fees into our system. And then what that meant was when an estate agent or mortgage advisor goes into our system, they type in some property details, type in the client details, press a button, and it generates up to 15 quotes instantly.
Okay, so at that stage then a punter will choose which quote they want, which solicitor they want to use. They will then instruct that solicitor.
Correct.
And at the time of that instruction, as I understand it, they'll be offered two things. They'll be offered obviously the opportunity to pay for the upfront search, and we'll talk about what a staggering difference that makes to the figures in terms of completions in a moment. And they'll be offered a data room, a pet vault, I think it is, that they can keep all the documents in and will enable communication. So is that right? That's how it works?
Yeah, so from an agent's point of view, agents, they've got a few key milestones. They want to obviously instruct a solicitor to make sure that it's moving forward. Their next one is they want to make sure that they've ordered searches, and then they want an exchange date. That's kind of the three main milestones that agents tell me that they look at quite a lot. So we can confirm the instruction because the agent will talk to the client and say, which one do you want to go with? I'll go with normally the cheapest. It's all 90% of the time it's the
always the
cheapest.
same. Yep.
But there are some where the agents will say, look, we work with these guys really well, I know them, and that's one thing we've built up is a lot of relationships. So once that's instructed, the agent then gets the opportunity to say, look, we want to get this moving. We've got stats to prove that, which we'll come on to, but let's get your searches ordered today. Because in the normal conveyancing process, and this is where a lot of people kind of probably don't understand the full detail, when a client has instructed, paid money on account, done their ID checks, waiting for draft contracts, waiting for mortgage offer, then the solicitor orders the searches. That could be 6-8 weeks down the line.
Yeah.
And if a local search takes 4 weeks, we always know the local councils are the slowest. If that takes 4 weeks, you're looking at the 10th or 12th week, purely until they're able to raise inquiries on the search.
And we know that buyers lose interest over that period, so the longer it goes on, the more. What does the local search include?
Well, the full moving pack is our name for it. It's just our branding. But it's got a local search from the council. It's got an environmental search, which could be obviously do with floods and coals, etc. And then we've got a drainage search. So a lender requirement is the minimum of those three. And if we need a title plan, we'll order a title plan as well.
And how long will that take to arrive when it's ordered?
The local search. We've got local searches that we can get back immediately. Out of 350 councils, I think there's about 6 that are instant. The rest of them hover around 4 to 5 weeks. The worst one about 3 or 4 months ago was Bolton, and there was 21 weeks for a local search.
Okay, well, we don't want to name and shame here necessarily. I mean,
they fixed that problem.
That's just the way it is. But the important thing is that the buyer will have paid for the upfront search,
and
so they're
been
committed.
Ordered. So
they'll be ordered,
and they'll be ordered as well. So if we just slide that 6-week ordering process, which then a solicitor does it to when we do it, and they're now ordering them on day one when the solicitor is instructed, we don't get them back any faster than the local council because we're not in control of that. So what we do is we just get them back at the same time. Well, now, if it takes 4 weeks, which is a standard, the inquiries are now raised on week 4 by the solicitor, not week 10.
Yeah, okay, so
just all we've done is shift
everything forward.
We've created an auction pack.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I think having all that in a data room so it can be easily accessed and transported around makes a lot of sense. And tell me how that changes the difference in time to completion and the lack of fall throughs. What are the differences?
The time to completion, as we've just been looking at the numbers, have changed slightly. So I've been transparent. We're now running at about 3 to 4 weeks faster with the searches ordered up front than without the searches up front. And we all know in the industry we've got a load of things we're out of control. Lease management companies, we've got leaseholds, we've got land registry, there's a load of things happening. I mentioned land registry earlier, but we've got a load of problems that surround the conveyancing part, which we don't have any control over. But the biggest thing is it's still faster. The fall through rate for us is the biggest difference though. So industry stats at the moment are around 30% of buyers pull out. On our stats, it's just over 2%. So just over 2% of buyers that ordered the searches up front and paid for them, 2% pulled out, not 30%.
Okay, so 3 to 4 weeks quicker and only 2% fall through rather than 30%.
Yeah.
So why the hell isn't everyone beating a path to your door because they don't know about it? So can I ask what you would like from this? I mean, would you like to have more people taking part in this trial? I mean, you're based, sorry, I said earlier, I was rather dismissive of exactly where you're up, is it Cheshire you're based in?
Birmingham.
Birmingham, okay, Birmingham.
Can you not tell by the accent? It's my international Birmingham accent that I've got.
I couldn't remember, Phil. But from that point of view, if you had an agent for anywhere in the UK,
Yes.
is your system able to come up with a quote for that area?
England and Wales.
Okay, anywhere in England and Wales, number one. Is there anything in it for the estate agent?
Yes.
Which is?
Well, apart from the obvious, which means they complete on more
Yep.
properties faster, apart from the blatantly obvious things with their cash flow is going to be better, there are referral fees involved.
Yep.
So let's be transparent because solicitors pay referral fees and that's important. Those are included. There is an ability to increase their referral fee amount as well because there's the searches up front. So obviously there's a financial benefit there as well.
So in other words, if they can persuade the buyer if they can help persuade the buyer to pay
Correct.
for the searches up front, there's going to be a share of that as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
On
So
average,
I'm
it
clear.
works to about £150 per buyer extra
Okay.
per case.
Okay. So, what I think, I mean, I'm a huge fan, as you can probably gather, I'm sitting here talking to Phil. I simply cannot believe that at a time when you've got the digital property market steering group doing a lot of talking and you've got a simple proposition like this, which is, I mean, it really is incredibly simple. I mean, it's like the difference between getting your insurance in the old days and waiting for people to do things, and now you just go on and comparethemarket.com. This is a very similar thing to that, but it's got the added advantage of speeding everything up, and there are referral fees. So I'm guessing that what you'd like to do is increase the size of your trial. Is a straightforward answer.
Yeah,
Get more people using it.
We'd like to extend the trial. I say trial. It's not been a trial. It's just the first 18 months of our business, and I'm being honest. But we've done this for a very long time now. But this particular thing we'd like to extend. So we're very strong in the Midlands. We've got solicitors covering the whole of England. So in regards to capacity and locality, which is always something people are interested in, we have those areas covered. And yeah, we'd like to extend it. So if we'd like to open that up to another 100 agents to trial, to give us another benchmark, to prove the concept that what we're doing is moving in the right direction. And like you say, keeping it simple. Everyone understands searches, they need to be ordered. We get that. It's part of the buying process. We're not introducing anything that's confusing.
No, you're not. I mean, that's what I love about it. Is it's just something that exists. But I love the idea that they can get an upfront search, and that's all it is, and it's wrapped up in a data room. That's all they need to have. That is all you need to be doing. So, guys, you heard it from Phil. You may have read about him. There have been articles about Phil in various trade press. I know that the negotiator is planning on doing a little bit with him as well. And I think it's well worthwhile, and I think what he's doing is brilliant. So I would very strongly advise you, if you look underneath this, you'll see a link. Go to that link, and if you want to join in, why not? There's money in it, and there's better cash flow, and keeping the future coming towards you. I can't see why you wouldn't want to do it. So thank you for listening, and Phil, thank you very much for coming.
No, thank you. Cheers, I appreciate it.